Another hearing is set for today in the case against New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver. She is facing federal charges in connection with a confrontation outside an ICE detention center in Newark just last month. A grand jury indicted her on 3 charges of assaulting federal law enforcement officers during the clash. McIver plans to plead not guilty. Her attorney called the prosecution political retaliation. Let's bring in CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, this case and that of labor leader David Huerta, they are raising questions about the DOJ's role here. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, two different parts of the country, but 2 very symmetrical cases. First of all, there was a preliminary hearing on the schedule in Newark federal court today for Congresswoman McIver. They're no longer going to have that preliminary hearing because a grand jury has returned this new indictment, which carries the prospect of prison time if Congresswoman McIver were to be convicted at trial. They're alleging here that she was part of this effort to impede federal agents, to obstruct the agents outside the Delaney Immigration Detention Center on May 9th. That's right there in Newark. There are so many parallels with this case and the one of David Huerta, the union leader in Los Angeles, arrested over the weekend, also accused of impeding federal agents at a facility there in Los Angeles. In neither case are they alleging specific injuries to anybody, but these are federal criminal charges which could result in prison time. And I think supporters of Mr. Huerta and supporters of Ms. McIver would argue this is an overreach by the Department of Justice, taking what appears to be uninjured individuals and turning this into felony federal criminal cases. That said, the Department of Justice has been unequivocal here. They're trying to send a message that this puts agents in danger and that this cannot be tolerated moving forward.
Very important to note the part about injuries, too, because I didn't realize when you think of it, no one was injured, but then these very, very serious charges are being brought out. So, today, we know Attorney General Pam Bondi, she claimed looters arrested in Los Angeles will be prosecuted by the DOJ. Let's listen to what she had to say.
This isn't just looting to me. You think people just run in, take something, leave, and nothing happens? We're using the Hobbs Act. We are charging robbery to protect Californians under this. If you loot a store, we are going to charge you with robbery under the Hobbs Act, and you're looking at maximum 20 years in prison. But we're going to prosecute you for that.
Okay, Scott, so help us understand this here. What is the Hobbs Act, and what are the implications of the DOJ taking over these prosecutions?
Yeah, those words caught our ears because those of us who cover a lot of federal criminal cases and cover the Department of Justice, we hear the term Hobbs Act a lot. It's a broader federal term, which means a robbery, potentially a violent robbery, which then inhibits or impacts overall commerce. It impacts potentially interstate commerce. It's a broader robbery issue than just singular robbery of one place. That's a federal crime that is charged in every state in America. It's charged relatively frequently by the Department of Justice, but it carries with it the prospect of a long prison term if one is convicted. What's more, when the federal government sets its sights on you for a prosecution, it can be a remarkable burden in and of itself, trying to defend yourself against a felony Hobbs Act charge. This is something the Department of Justice is using not only to seek justice in these cases, but to send a message moving forward not to engage in looting, in robbery, be it in Los Angeles or during unrest elsewhere.
Yeah. All right. Scott MacFarlane, thank you for your time today.